My mom texted, "We changed the locks and gate code. We don't trust you anymore." I said, "Smart move. But you forgot one thing," so I canceled the $4,800 mortgage I'd been paying even after they gave my house to my sister. 2 days later, their lawyer messaged, "We need to talk." I never answered. Because it was already too late. That text hit my phone like a punch to the gut, staining an otherwise normal morning forever. "We changed all the locks. We no longer trust you." Can you believe it? They weren't just kicking me out of a house, they were firing me from my own family, but they forgot one crucial detail: I still held the purse strings. It was 8:14 a.m. sharp. Like my mom had rehearsed the lines all night, ready to perform her grand exit from my life. I just stared at the screen, not shocked, not entirely. Deep down, I always knew something like this was coming. But the cold, corporate tone of it all, it was like an official severance notice. And for a second, the whole world just paused, waiting for my reaction. I typed back, without a single flinch, "Understood. Very smart. But I think you overlooked one thing." I didn't wait for a response. I opened my banking app, navigated to recurring payments, and with a single tap, I canceled the $4,800 mortgage transfer. The one I'd been making every single month for their house. The house they'd conveniently given to my sister, Lindsay. The house they said she deserved because she gave them grandkids, and well, I only gave them disappointment. 2 days later, a new message landed. Different number. No emojis, no passive-aggressive ellipses. Just an all-caps subject line from a law office: "We have a problem. Call immediately." I never did. By then, it was already over. But stories like this, they don't start with betrayal, do they? They start with love. Or at least, the performance of it. They begin with a kid who just keeps saying yes, believing that one day it'll count. One day they'll say thank you. One day he'll finally matter. That kid was me. For years. I paid bills. I fixed problems. I carried their weight. And they called it help, right up until I stopped. That morning, the locks changed. But honestly, I'd already changed something far more important: myself. Back then, I genuinely thought I was saving them. Saving the family, the house, the peace. If you'd asked me, I'd have just shrugged and said, "I'm just supporting them. I can afford it." But it wasn't just anything. I'd been paying their mortgage for almost 4 years, $1,800 a month, like clockwork. An automatic withdrawal, a sacred family tax directly from my account. On top of that, utilities, property insurance, internet bills. That massive emergency roof repair when a storm ripped half the shingles off. All of it. My name. My credit. My money. And you know what? They never even said thank you. Not once. My sister, Lindsay, was a constant parade of crises, of course. Her credit card maxed out? I paid it down. Her car needed brakes? I covered it. Daycare was too expensive? I sent cash, just until she figured it out. 3 years later, she was still figuring it out. And somehow, I never said no. Not once. Because I thought, this is what family does. Until I woke up and realized that was exactly what they were counting on. My endless supply. My inability to say no. The first crack in my perfect little family illusion appeared one Sunday afternoon. I was scrolling through Facebook, waiting for my grocery pickup. And then I saw it. A photo. Lindsay, my parents, the kids. All of them, standing proudly in front of the house. The house I was paying for, mind you. They were holding a sign that screamed, "Home Sweet Home." And the caption from my mother? "Oh, this was a masterpiece, so proud of our daughter for building a future we can all share. This home is in the right hands." I had to reread it. Lindsay's house. The right hands. No mention of me. No tag. No photo credit. Not even a passing, were grateful for Alex's support. Just them, smiling, on a porch I paid for. The comments section was a circus of heart emojis and clapping hands. Wow, she's such a strong woman. You're lucky to have her. She's such a rock for your family. Even my aunt chimed in, Lindsay, you deserve every inch of that house. I wanted to hurl my phone across the store. But I didn't. I just stared at it, like a bruise I wasn't ready to touch yet. A few days later, a cold dread began to settle in. I called the bank, just to confirm something, anything. Is the mortgage still under my name? It was. But then, the woman on the phone said, so casually, looks like there was a request submitted last week to change the primary contact to a Miss Lindsay Carson. My heart simply stopped. They didn't finish the verification, she added, but the documents are in progress. I ended the call without another word. Then, I checked my statements. And there it was. An extra $2,400, gone from my checking account. A transfer. To a card I hadn't authorized. I knew that number. Lindsay's emergency visa. The one I'd bailed out during her temporary unemployment 2 years ago. I texted her. Calmly. Me, did you use my card again? Lindsay, don't make it a thing, Alex. We needed groceries and the kids needed shoes. I thought we were still sharing that one. Me, no. We weren't. She didn't respond. But guess who did? My mother. Honey, she wrote, Lindsay is going through so much right now. She said she'd pay you back. Let's not start a war over a few dollars. A few dollars? $2,400 was a few dollars when it was my money. But if Lindsay missed a phone payment? That was a full-blown family crisis. Then came the group chat. They'd even changed the name to Family Circle, without me, of course. Someone posted a meme, a man handing over his wallet, with the caption, Big Brother energy, pay now ask never. My cousin replied, tag Alex. Then another, yo, can we get you to cover my student loans, too? Even my own dad jumped in, only if you rename your kid after him. Gotta keep the donor happy. I stared at my screen. No one. Not a single person defended me. Not even a joke to balance it out. I left the chat. They added me back. I left again. Then I blocked them all. But none of that, none of the casual theft or the public mockery, compared to what happened that Friday. I was mowing the backyard. The same yard I'd been maintaining for 3 summers because, in my father's words, it's not worth hiring anyone when you're around anyway. The mower sputtered. I stopped for a water break. The kitchen window was open. And that's when I heard them. My mother and Lindsay. Their voices were clear. Sharp. Effortless. Like this wasn't even their first conversation about me. Lindsay was laughing. Did you see his face when I told Aunt Karen the house was mine? He didn't even blink, like a puppy just happy to sniff the plate. My mom giggled. It's almost done. Once the paperwork's through, he won't be able to say a thing. He's the one who insisted on keeping it in his name. That's on him. Then Lindsay again, honestly, it's better this way. He's always been distant, like a guest with a wallet. And then. The words that finally did it. The words that shattered everything. My mother, casually, coldly, he's not family anymore. He's just a sponsor. I didn't move. I just stood there, the water bottle still in my hand, the cool liquid running down my fingers like blood. I felt it. The absolute, undeniable end of whatever illusion I'd been clinging to. Asterisk not family. Just a sponsor, asterisk they didn't know I was listening. They didn't see me walk away. But that moment, that single line, it broke something that had been cracking for years. And I swear to God, something new began to form in its place. Not anger. Not grief. Just a chilling, unbreakable resolve. They didn't expect me to show up. The invitation came in a stiff white envelope, gold trim, embossed letters. Please join us to celebrate Elizabeth Carson's 60th birthday. No signature. Just, from your family. 60 guests. A big venue. Full catering. A slideshow. They called it a legacy event. I didn't RSVP. I didn't call. I just circled the date in red. And I prepared. 3 days before the party, I printed a document. A ledger. $211,723.84. Total financial contributions. Mortgage, utilities, repairs, insurance. Each line item. Each with a date, a purpose, and a copy of the bank transaction. I put it on a USB drive. Along with the audio from the open window, he's not family anymore. He's just a sponsor. Screenshots from the group chats, calling me a wallet. Photos of receipts. The email where my sister submitted paperwork to have the house transferred entirely to her name. If the house was hers, then the debt was hers, too. I texted my grandfather that morning. He didn't reply. I didn't need him to. The venue was exactly what I'd imagined. White linen tables. Giant, 6-foot balloons. A projector cycling through baby pictures and beach vacations. Waiters in black ties. My cousins in cocktail dresses. And my mother, in an emerald green gown, beaming in front of a sign that read, "A house is not a home without family." I nearly laughed out loud. I arrived 10 minutes late. On purpose. Heads turned when I walked in. Some smiled. Some stiffened. Lindsay caught my eye, blinked twice, then forced a grin and turned back to the crowd. I didn't wave. Didn't speak. Just took a seat at the back. They didn't waste time. Lindsay gave a speech first. All about sacrifice. Love. True family. Said something about how this year has brought us even closer. The screen behind her showed a photo of the house. The caption, "Built with love, passed down with purpose." Still no mention of me. Then came the toast. My mother took the mic, dabbed her eyes. Looked around the room like a queen delivering her final blessing. I'm so proud of my daughter, Lindsay. She's shown what legacy truly means. And I'm grateful that this home, our home, will stay in the right hands. Applause. Smiles. Until I stood up. And walked, slowly, deliberately, to the microphone. I wasn't going to say anything tonight, I began, my voice calm, cutting through the murmurs. But since we're talking about legacy, let's do the math. The projector flickered. And then, the audio played. My mother's voice. Clear as day. He's not family anymore. He's just a sponsor. And Lindsay's, like a puppy just happy to sniff the plate. Gasps. A few people sat forward. One woman dropped her wine glass. I clicked again. The screen changed. Screenshot. Group chat. Tag Alex. Only if you rename your kid after the bank. Then, the ledger. $1,800 x 48 months. Repairs. Maintenance. Property tax. If this house now belongs to Lindsay, I said, my voice rising slightly, then I'm here to present a bill. Not a favor. A debt. I held up the printed invoice. 211 pages. Stapled. Silence. Then, from Lindsay, a rush out, "Are you serious?" "Dead serious," I replied, "unless you want to call it theft." It was a gift, my mother snapped, her emerald gown suddenly looking less regal. Funny, I said, stepping closer, my eyes fixed on her. I didn't sign a gift certificate. I signed every check. My father stood up, looking like he might launch himself across the room. I turned to him. "Want to talk about the loan application you filled out, using my name as a co-signer without telling me?" He sat back down. Hard. That's when the door opened. And in walked my grandfather. He didn't say a word at first. Just walked straight to the front of the room. All 60 guests watched, utterly silent, as he picked up the microphone. Looked around. And then spoke slowly, his voice like gravel. "You raised a thief," he said, looking pointedly at my father. "And a coward. You tried to bury his son in silence. But the thing about mud is, it doesn't hide footprints for long." He looked at me then. "The trust is yours now," he said. "The one your father tried to redirect. I changed it last week. Lindsay's name has been removed completely." More gasps. My mother's face cracked, truly cracked. Lindsay's knees buckled. She grabbed the back of a chair to steady herself. "You want legacy?" Grandpa said, his gaze sweeping over them all. "Earn it. The hard way." He dropped the mic literally. And walked out. I placed the printed invoice on the gift table, right next to a pile of boxed wine and family photo albums. "You changed the locks," I said, loud enough for the back row to hear. "I changed my future. I'm not your donor. I'm your debt collector." And then I walked out. Didn't stay for cake. Didn't shake hands. Didn't look back. The party was over. And so was the lie. The next morning, I woke up to 57 unread messages. The first was from my mother. "You humiliated me on my birthday. You made a mockery of your own blood." Then my father, "I don't care what you think you're owed. You won't see a single cent." Lindsay, silent as always, posted a black screen on her Instagram story. The caption, "Some wounds come from those who were supposed to heal you." The comments under her last photo were a parade of vague sympathy. "You don't deserve this. Stay strong, Mama. Family will destroy you faster than strangers." None of them knew she'd called me a wallet behind a closed window. None of them had seen the invoice. But someone else had. 2 days later, I got a call from an unknown number. I answered out of pure curiosity. "Mr. Carson," the voice said, calm and crisp. "My name is Daniel Moore. I'm an attorney representing your parents. I'd like to discuss a potential financial resolution." I didn't speak. "They're not looking for a lawsuit," he continued. "They want this to go away quietly. No press. No social media. In exchange, they're willing to offer a settlement." I leaned back in my chair. "Let me guess," I said. "Half the amount I'm owed in exchange for silence?" "A reasonable amount," he said, stiffly, given the informality of the arrangement. I almost laughed. "Daniel," I said, "I have every receipt. Every deposit. I have audio of them mocking me. I have their voices on tape admitting what they did." "I'm aware," he said, even more stiffly. "That's why we're calling." "Then here's what we'll do," I said. "Full repayment. Every cent. Or I file a public claim and attach the audio as evidence. You've got 72 hours. He paused. "Understood. I'll be in touch." Exactly 72 hours later, the wire hit. $211,723.84. Labeled, "Reimbursement Settlement." No further liability acknowledged. It didn't come from my parents. Not even Lindsay. The sender was a private business account registered to someone I didn't recognize. Probably a loan shark, or a panicked friend of my father's. That, honestly, made it even better. I printed the transaction. Filed the paperwork. Saved it 6 different ways. I didn't reply. Didn't thank them. Didn't say a word. I wasn't there to make peace. I was there to be paid. A week later, I posted a video. Clean background. No anger. Just absolute clarity. "Some people say closure is about forgiveness," I began. For me, closure came with a wire transfer. $211,723.84. The price of 4 years of silence, obedience, and financing someone else's fantasy. They called me family, then called me a sponsor. Now, they can call me settled. I blurred the account numbers, but left the sum visible. This isn't about hate. This is about facts. And facts have receipts. The post went viral. Again. Even bigger this time. Therapists shared it. Adult children of toxic parents stitched it. One guy even DM'd me, saying it inspired him to cancel his mom's car lease. I didn't respond. That same day, a voicemail came from my father. His voice raw with rage. So that's it? You really think money fixes it? You think you won? You're not part of this family anymore. I deleted it without listening to the rest. They'd changed the locks. I changed the terms. Now, I live in a small, modern apartment. Huge windows. Absolute silence. No family group chat. No late-night requests for quick help. No guilt trips disguised as concern. People sometimes ask if it hurts, being done with them. It doesn't. Because the truth is, I'm not done. I'm free. And freedom costs exactly $211,723.84. People keep asking me if I feel lighter now. If cutting off my family brought peace or closure or whatever word people like to use when they mean, did it work? And the answer is simple. I don't feel lighter. I feel clearer. Because peace doesn't always come with weightlessness. Sometimes, it comes with gravity. A grounded, steady knowing that you're finally standing on your own side. After everything, they vanished. Exactly as I expected. No calls. No letters. No we miss you. Just silence. But not the kind that hurts. The kind that confirms the truth. I was never a son to them. I was a service. And once I stopped functioning, I stopped matching. 2 months later, I finally learned how to enjoy mornings. The way sunlight filters through clean windows. The sound of coffee dripping, not texts pinging. No group chats begging for favors. No, can you transfer something real quick? No passive-aggressive, guess who hasn't called their mother lately? My phone is quiet. My hands are steady. And I've stopped waiting for anyone to ask how I'm doing, unless they truly care about the answer. People who know just pieces of the story still ask, but they're your family. I nod. Sure. In the way that a cage is still a home if you've never known anything else. But I've stepped outside. And the air out here doesn't ask me for proof of my usefulness. I don't tell the full story anymore, unless someone's truly earned it. There's no thrill in retelling trauma, only fatigue. So now, when people ask why I'm not close with my family, I just say, I stopped mistaking access for love. That usually shuts them up. I used to check my old accounts, just to see if they tried to reach out. They didn't. Not once. No apology. No explanation. Not even a guilt trip disguised as concern. Just total silence. Like I was never there. Like $211,723.84 of my life had been an administrative error they corrected by erasing me. Fine. Let them pretend. Pretending is what they're best at. The worst part? They probably think I still care. That I'm out here stewing in anger, waiting for an apology, secretly hoping they'll change. I'm not. I've seen them for what they are. And when the mask slips that far, you don't wait for it to go back on. You walk away. You don't check the rear view. Forgiveness? No, that's a word people throw around like a blanket when they're cold with guilt and want your warmth without earning it. Forgiveness requires acknowledgement. Responsibility. Regret. They offered none of that. So, I offer nothing back. My therapist once asked me, what would you say to them now, if they were in front of you? And I thought about it. I sat in that chair, breathing slowly, trying to imagine their faces, those familiar masks built from years of denial and manipulation. And I said, nothing. I wouldn't say a single thing. Because saying something implies they still have access. And they don't. There is no key anymore. No emergency contact. No bank account with shared permissions. No number saved just in case. I deleted every trace of them from my life. Not out of spite, but out of necessity. Survival is quiet, like that. It doesn't come with fireworks. It just comes with locked doors and clean slates. Sometimes, I imagine they tell people I cut them off over money. That I was always distant. That I lost it. Sure. Let them. Let them keep their version, softened and flattering, where they're the victims of the ungrateful child who dared to say no. They need the fiction. I have the facts. Facts don't beg. They don't whine. They don't tremble under scrutiny. Facts sit still. They wait. They endure. Just like I did. Now, I live. Not in a fairy tale. Not in revenge. Just life. Real. Boring. Mine. I work. I rest. I laugh when it's funny. I eat when I'm hungry. Not when I'm begged to show up to some family dinner where I'll foot the bill and be forgotten anyway. I still remember what my mother said once, years ago. If you ever left, we'd fall apart. And she was right. They did. But I didn't. I'm not broken. I'm not bitter. I'm not waiting. I'm just done. Not as a warning. Not as a statement. As a fact. Like a locked phone. Like a cleared inbox. Like a number that rings once and goes nowhere. No forwarding. No return. Just me. Whole and free.